Hey, we're here at PAX Saturday and I am here with Splatoon player Ryan. Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself as a Splatoon player. What guns do you like to play?
I like to play the Octobrush and Splash Shot.
Hi, I'm Ali. I go online by Alecat, Splatshot main junior, with the Bubble and Splat Bomb.
Hi, my name's Gabriel, or otherwise known as Gabe in the online circles. I main the Splattershot or Tensitech Splattershot in Splatoon and Splatoon 2.
Palette from Victoria, and I main the Splatlings.
I'm Spongebev. I live here in Melbourne and I play the AUNZ weapon.
Tell us about Splatoon and how you got into it. How long have you been playing for?
Well, I've been interested in the franchise since before it was out. We played PAX for the first time. We played Splatoon at PAX for the first time.
I guess I got into Splatoon from the test fire and have loved it ever since. I found the controls very intuitive.
I got it since like the release day or something.
I kind of started playing about a year and a half ago, and I found Oceanink Squids about start of this year. And yeah.
I got the first Splatoon game the day it came out, along with my brother. He dropped it after a few months, but I kept on playing.
It hadn't come out in stores, but we'd seen the E3 trailer and we're like, got to play that game. So we ended up queuing up maybe 40 minutes over and over just to get these snapshot chances to play the game.
I was more of a solo person for a long time until I discovered the tournament scene. I played that with my team, the Blue Ringed Octolings, from the beginning. We've done pretty well in the Australian scene. And we've even represented Australia overseas.
We noticed that there's a lot of Splatoon players in Australia, New Zealand, that were actually getting left out of the international events. So usually when tournaments were being run, they were at optimal times for European and American players, which equals 2 a.m. here. We started up a tournament series called Oceanink Offensive, run in the middle of the day Australian time, catered to Australian players. The tournament series sort of wound down a little bit, but the community stayed, and that is now Oceanink Squids.
There was a community known as Oceanink Squids, which I'm a part of now.
Before I joined the Australian community, I was very much part of the American one. The American one was fantastic, but it was kind of, a lot of the teams we wouldn't mingle as much. You kept to yourself, you didn't really get to know many of the other teams and other players, whilst in Oceanic in Australia, you mingle with the other teams, you play casually with all the other teams, and you get to make these nice close relationships and friendships with all the other teams.
And where can we find Oceanink Squids?
So we're most active on Twitter, and we have a Discord. So if you find us on Oceanink Squids on Twitter, there's a link there to our Discord.
It's like Ocean Ink. Yeah. The Splatoon community, I've just come in perhaps from Splatoon 2, from all the different video game communities you have there, especially the competitive ones, fighting game community, shooter community, MOBA community. The Splatoon community strikes me as somewhat different to all of them. What would you say are the hallmarks, or what makes Splatoon communities different from others in the video gaming world?
Because it's a Nintendo game, it really attracts people of all ages.
So we have people as young as 8 to 10, those kind of early ages getting in, playing competitive, and then we even have players in their 40s and got their own families and stuff.
The very first thing that pops to mind is that Splatoon lacks voice chat, and as much as people complain about it, because of the ebb and flow of this game, it's a very fast game. It can be played in, sometimes over in a minute. Sometimes you've got 5 minutes stuck with teammates. Because it lacks voice chat, I've actually found it to be a overall better community because everyone's salt is contained. They're not shouting and yelling at each other. They're not telling each other that, they're scrubs, noobs. They're not ranting and raving at each other. And I think it's something that people haven't really thought about, but when you want to get a bit more invested, your first experience with the game wasn't something where people were yelling at you. You get a bit further into it, then you seek out the online community, and from there, we have a nicer starting point, I feel.
It's just a really tight-knit community, so we stamp out any toxicity that comes around really quickly. We say, hey, just encourage each other.
The Splatoon community, especially in Australia, is really laid back and chill. Everyone's all tight-knit together, and we're friends before rivals. No matter who it is, everyone gets along, and we just love playing the game together.
What do you think about the other Australian players?
I think they're excellent.
In the global scene, it's a bit tricky because time zones kind of limit when we can play together.
Probably the biggest difficulty is definitely the internet connection.
So we have often had trouble with our competitive players trying to get into leagues and games with overseas players. Not only are we far from everyone else, we also just have bad local internet. So we are probably one of the most active LAN scenes for Splatoon. We've had people fly in from New Zealand to come to some of our LANs, so it's been really awesome putting faces to names and really forming some strong friendships.
I think that's a really nice story that comes out of it. What would you like to see from the game in the future?
I would like to see like another game mode for ranked, or like adding turf war into ranked. I can see a lot more LAN tournaments, LAN get-togethers coming up, and I'm hoping that will increase around the world. Possibly even becoming international tournaments where people travel to other countries just to have like nice tournaments. That's what I kind of hope for. That would be really cool.
It won't get all the fanfare that things like League, CSGO and all that would get, but from a viewer perspective, there's a spectator mode with the right casters, and people commentating the game can definitely broaden the audience outside of just the Nintendo bubble, and I think it can go a really long way.
Look, everyone wants to see it become a big esport, but I know that without the backing of the publisher, that's never going to happen. And the shape of a game changes when you bring salaries, monies, everything into it. So at this point in time, I'm really enjoying just seeing this community spirit, everyone, actually learning from each other.
I'm really eager to keep competing, especially since they're still releasing new updates, new maps, new weapons for the game, and not only can I grow as a player, but with my team.
I would like to just be a competitive player because I really like Splatoon 2 and I want to get good at it, even though I am good now, but like professional sort of good.
Ryan, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your PAX.
Thanks.
Thank you, Beverly. It's been great to have you.
Thanks.
Well, Gabe, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for coming to chat with us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your PAX.
No worries, thank you, Kaiser.
Thank you so much, Palette. I hope you enjoy the rest of your PAX.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Alecat. It's a real pleasure to interview you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Gotta give my Hayley Comets a shout out. Love Oceanink Squids. You guys are my big family, and shout outs to all the other American squads that I was with.
I want to just shout out to my hidden partner, Nikasa, who always works silently in the background, never manages to make it to interviews. Thankless work from him. He always picks up the pieces when we run tournaments, so I love you.
The Oceanic community is how I met everyone that I play with in Australia, and it's just an amazing group of people that I love playing with.